took my 10-year-old son out on the St. Croix River on a wave runner. A wave runner is a small boating vehicle resembling a motorcycle. We donned life jackets and embarked on an experience that turned out to be both exhilarating and frightening. Exhilarating when I let myself enjoy it, and frightening when I thought too much about what I was doing and all the terrible things that could happen. Midway through our ride, my worst fear came true. We took a spill. We were floundering in 30 feet of water. The wave runner was bobbing on the waves in front of me like a motorized turtle on its back. Don't panic, my son said calmly. What if we drown? I objected. We can't, he said. We have life jackets on. See, we're floating. The machine is upside down. How are we going to turn it over? Just like the man said, my son answered. The arrow points this way. With an easy gesture, we turned the machine right side up. What if we can't climb back on? I asked. We can, my son replied. That's what wave runners were made for, climbing on in the water. I relaxed, and as we drove off, I wondered why I had become so frightened. I thought maybe it's because I don't trust my ability to solve problems. Maybe it's because once I almost drowned when I wasn't wearing a life jacket. But you didn't drown then either, a small voice inside reassured me. You survived. Don't panic. Problems were made to be solved. Life was made to be lived. Although sometimes we may be in over our heads. Yes, we may even go under for a few moments and gulp a few mouthfuls of water. We won't drown. We're wearing, and always have been wearing, that support jacket is called God. Today, I will remember to take care of myself. When I get in over my head, God is there supporting me, even when my fears try to make me forget.
That's a good one.
The thing is, we can drown. Like, bad things can happen. And I think, I really like the end of it.
But do you think it's talking about they don't have to consume you?
Right.
Like, so when I think of drowning, I think of, I can't deal with life, so I go and use. That's not what you're hearing?
Well, and so that's where I really like at the end where she's saying, our life jacket is actually God.
Mm-hmm.
And so even though bad things can happen and will happen, I actually happen to know that her son died. I think he was 16. It was after, so she'd written Codependent No More, and it was a very popular book, and I forget what happened, but her son actually died, and she's written a few other books, and I just think, that the work, because these books came out of the work that she did in her own life, and the work that she did in herself, and to heal and to learn and to grow. I would imagine, from what I haven't read her later books, but I believe I did read an article where she really talks about how you can be equipped to continue on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I think the life jacket that she's talking about of actually God is our life jacket, and it means that when the bad things happen, we won't drown in those bad things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. And then I know that in my own personal experience that I didn't see my fears. I could see my resentments. And then what I've learned is if I trace back my resentment, it usually leads to fear. And so fear is usually my underlying thing. And I think, God's got our backs. And I know, can we trust him in the big things? I find trusting him in the big things is easier than the everyday little things. But the everyday little things lead to the big things. And just if I get in doubt and in worry, I can look back at 2004 and say God was taking care of us before we were taking care of us.
Before we
by providing everything that we need even for today.
That's good.
That's good.
True.
Life jacket. So do we walk around with a life jacket? Is that how we look as people in the kingdom of God? We're all life jacketed up. I guess that's one way of looking at it. That's what might make us different. Walking around with life jackets on.
Some of us are walking around with life jackets and paddles. Just whacking everyone.
A 6-foot paddle? All right. Have a great